In Marvel Rivals, they added a support that's totally different than the rest in the roster. Thing is, she breaks the typical trait of a support character and brings something entirely new to the genre. That's the main problem. If you play her like a normal backline support, then you'll suck. Play too aggressively, you'll suck. Play in a 3-healer composition, then you'll suck the most. That's the reason why most players think she's trash, but only a selected few understands and are sitting at the top abusing this character, holding the secrets. But I'm gonna teach you everything. Everything you need to know and learn about this character will be provided to you in 3 simple steps. First, I'll teach you how to use all her abilities. No boring firing range, I'll show you clips in real time with real battle scenarios, so you can learn what others take hundreds of hours to figure out in the heat of battle. Oh, maximum pulse got cancelled. Secondly, I'll show you how to play her like a top 100 and share the shortcuts to close the gap between you and the pros. This segment is so effective it'll feel like cheating. But hey, if there's no law against it, then it's all fair game. And finally, I'll show you your hardest counters and more importantly, tips to fight against them. Trust the process. Let's begin. First and foremost, the healing. Everyone knows that the heal bounces, but almost nobody realized that it's a total scam. Here's the secret. The orb always bounces to the closest target, whether they're an ally or enemy. So if your teammate is fighting someone, your heal will bounce straight to the enemy, cutting the flow of your healing. To fix this, you always need to map out visually and heal the teammates that are closest to one another. Unless you're assisting in the damage, try and avoid healing the guy who's tangling with the enemy. Additional tips, you heal more compared to healing off of bounce. Pros manage to do it with ease, but for beginners, it can be tough. So best advice, aim slightly above the feet. That way, even if you miss, the bounce got you covered.
By the eye of
Oh! Now, you might be wondering, why go through this much work just for the basic healing? That's because you haven't seen what her kit is hiding, and trust me, understand this part and there'll be zero difference between you and a 200-odd Lord White Fox. Alright, I'm gonna go through all the secrets of her kit super fast, so buckle up. First ability is the charm. Notice there's 2 parallel lines and a projectile in the middle. Well, enemies will get charmed only if they get hit by this projectile, otherwise they'll just take damage. For allies, they'll receive 65 heals on impact. But here's the most important gimmick of this ability. Upon activation, you will be CC immune for 0.4 seconds, and after hitting your allies, they will be CC immune for 0.4 seconds. So it's not like I'm gonna save everyone button. Rather, you have to make a choice. Should you prioritize yourself or your allies? And needless to say, if you time it right, this ability alone can stop so many game-breaking ultimates. Up next, the Fox mode. Honestly, more often than not, it's just a reposition or a getaway ability. Then again, pros use it to kidnap enemies, but that's just too risky and not entirely necessary. What you don't know is, when she activates her Fox mode, she becomes a walking AoE healer. Allies, including you standing in the 10-meter radius circle, will receive 25 healing per second. Dealing damage stacks 35 additional heals, making it 60 heals per second. On top, hitting tail sweep adds 65 flat heals. I'm not joking when I say this. You can 1v1 almost any diver in the game and keep a team alive at the same time. And that's exactly why Kumiho needs to be positioned differently than your typical support characters. She is essentially a mid-range healer, and she also walks around in the middle of a team due to her forgiving getaway ability. The teleport. Pros make it look like they're just effing off, but secretly, they're just healing an ally in autopilot, because teleportation grants instant 70 flat heals and also some healing over time. So they're just skipping the part where they need to heal an ally and focusing on someone else who needs the manual healing. What you should do as a beginner is to use it as a safe zone to quickly heal yourself, because in Lorello, most supports don't understand what patty caking is. Now then, addressing the giant fox in the room. Her ultimate. Her aura and the hits combined heals 185 per second. Pros use it as an initiating ult, because this ult cannot compete with other healing ults in the game. So it needs to be utilized to make plays or bait out panic ult. What you should do as a beginner is use this ultimate to buff your teammates so they can create openings while you act as a tank and also help sustain your team to the best of your ability. And congratulations! You now possess all the knowledge on how to play White Fox like a pro. There's essentially no difference between you and a Lord White Fox who nearly shoved 100 hours from behind of this character. You know, for some reason I'm feeling extremely toxic today. So I will decide to add extra salt on the Lord White Fox community by exposing more of the secrets. Here's some rapid obscure tips. Her initial hit range is 35 meters, but you can extend it substantially with the bounce. Scratching non-enemy targets can also surge you and your team with the healing aura. If your team is running flyer comp, then you'll soon realize how close to impossible it is to heal airborne targets. My god. So don't be that guy. Just switch. Your teleport shield has even wider range, so no need to stay inside to receive those heals. Despite being only a 200 HP shield, it can withstand insta-delete ultimates. Fox ult has a brief window that can negate CC or incoming damage. Her stomp radius is slightly shorter than her ult radius, so to get that 100 extra healing, team needs to be inside of this little puddle. And up close, you deal double the damage and double the healing. Every ability except the teleportation uses one of her tails. On Fox mode, using all 3 tails grants you 9 seconds of brawling time, and 8 seconds for 2 and 7 seconds for 1 tail. You can always cancel out the ability to preserve some tails, but honestly, her ass is very fertile, so it's less likely you'll ever struggle with a missing tail situation. Now, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time and go through Kumiho's hard counters one by one. Rather, I'm just gonna reveal a tier list and you can instantly figure out who are your biggest counters. But still a heads up, any long durational grab or CC is the most hardest counter in the game. And with that, I hope you'll now suck a little less with this character and show up in the lobbies as a more wiser person. If you're struggling to find your rhythm as a support character, then don't worry, your boy has got you covered with some more forbidden knowledge. For that, until next time.